Let's kick off these observations by looking straight at the hands. In these freeze frames of model Gisele Bundchen, pay close attention to her finger lengths, specifically her index finger and her ring finger. Notice how her index finger matches or even slightly exceeds the length of her ring finger? In biological anthropology, this is textbook data for a high 2D/4D digit ratio. And it is the first receipt we are cashing in today to put these internet rumors to rest. For anyone new to forensic anatomy, your digit ratio is a permanent biological marker locked in by the end of your first trimester in the womb. It serves as a snapshot of your prenatal hormonal environment. When a fetus is exposed to high levels of testosterone, it typically accelerates the growth of the fourth digit, the ring finger, resulting in a low, characteristically male ratio. On the flip side, higher prenatal estrogen exposure leads to a higher ratio where the index finger stands equal to or longer than the ring finger. Now, we always emphasize population science. A digit ratio isn't a rigid, universal law for every individual hand on Earth. It's a statistical trend. Averages show us patterns, but individual variations are completely normal. That is exactly why real forensic science never relies on just one isolated feature. You don't just look at a hand and call it a day, you stack the markers. You cross-reference the cranial features, the pelvic structure, and the postcranial skeletal proportions to see where the statistical lines overlap. But when you look at the baseline data right here on screen, Gisele's hands consistently align with the standard biological female pattern. There is absolutely no indication of the intense prenatal androgen exposure required to back up the wild claims floating around the internet.
This is former New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. He played in the National Football League for 23 seasons, 21 of which as the primary starter for the Patriots, leading them to 7 Super Bowl titles, 6 wins with the Patriots, and 1 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the most of any player and more than any NFL franchise. Brady's ability to lead teams to victory in high-pressure situations has led many to consider him not just one of the best quarterbacks, but arguably the greatest player in NFL history. This entity here, seen eating some kind of roach or something, is BitChute user calling himself Mr. E. Get this, Mr. E claims that NFL legend Tom Brady is actually a woman. Yeah, retarded as fuck, right? And Mr. E not only uploaded one video claiming Brady to be a woman, but he uploaded 2 videos claiming Brady to be female.
We could easily identify all these trannies by just doing an x-ray of their pelvis. Actually, we don't need genetic material. He has the pelvis of a woman. Okay, just bones. No flesh, no face, no makeup, nothing. They can just tell by the bones.
Bones, huh? Let's talk bones and not Tom Brady's love handles, which, incidentally, if Mr. E's idiot viewers looked down at their own fat, welfare bum, spare tire beer gut, they would see the very same roll of flab in the very same place on the abdomen. Anyway, bones. Studies have consistently shown that male skulls are larger than female skulls. This difference is evident in various cranial dimensions and is used as a basis for sex determination in forensic and anthropological contexts. Size is a better sex discriminator than shape in the facial skull, with the best discrimination achieved when considering both size and shape together. We would also bet that if Mystery's tranny-worshipping viewers looked at their pathetic loser parents, each would see that their life fail of a father will have a larger skull than their brain-dead mother. Here we can clearly observe Brady has a straight, male spinal column and a wide shoulder structure. It's abundantly clear that Tom Brady is male, and old Mr. E isn't going to admit to this ever. Not because he'll stick to a belief, but because that means he'll have to admit to lying in all his moronic videos, as the same forensics are applied to the same end and result. Mr. E is a liar and is shady as fuck, okay? Mr. E and other creepy inverter cult members are also spreading lies about Tom's ex, supermodel Gisele Bundchen, claiming with 0 evidence that Gisele is a man. So stupid, right? Actually, the following clip from one of Mr. E's crazy videos features what Mr. E believes is compelling evidence Gisele is male and what a complete idiot would find acceptable.
The shoulders are broad and stick out like that, and the hips are narrow, so the arms will hang up like that. This part here is a bit feminized because of the estrogen, so they get some body fat distribution there. Not exactly muscular legs necessarily, but the overall the body. And down there you can see some masculine features on the legs and all that. This is what forensic analysts use to determine sex in skeleton. Okay, so there's no skin on a skeleton. They don't know if it's male or female, but what they do, they check the bone structure, and they can tell just by bone structure. And it's called the gold standard, right? So this is basic stuff, just so you know where I'm coming from, the way I think about it. Maybe you think about it differently, that's fine. This is photographic evidence. And shoulders, okay? Shoulders, straight down, just as wide as these hips, right? The same width. Now, it may not be to the exact millimeter, but basically, shoulders just as wide as the hips. So if you only look up here, you say, well, are those wide shoulders or not? You have to say wide relative to what? Okay, wide relative to the hips. And it's the same width as the hips. So the arms are kind of at an angle, right? The arms cannot hang straight down because they're going to run into the hips. So the arms have to come out like that at an angle. So just look at a male. This is a male, all right? Male body. This is female. And look at the small little face, right? Larger skull, larger bones, higher cheekbones, jagged and angular. Whereas this one is just kind of a small, thin little face. Kind of simple.
Yeah, Mr. E's big anthropology lesson. In reality, Gisele's shoulders are the same width as her hips. Also, we can clearly see evidence of the female proximal femur, the lateralmost part of the greater trochanter, jutting out at her crotch line. See? This anterior or frontal femoral X-ray of a female illustrates the greater trochanter. It also illustrates Gisele's female Q angle, as the knees, as well as the proximal femur line up perfectly with Gisele's. Importing this professionally made model of the female in walk cycle further confirms both Gisele's proximal femur and her female Q angle. If we place a male skeleton next to Gisele, we see zero evidence of a male greater trochanter. We do, however, observe the clear difference in femur or thigh bone length between this male skeleton and Gisele's thigh bone's greater trochanter. Arcola Channel named this male skeleton Mortimer. Mortimer doesn't ask for money for doing this. It's for the cause, after all, and besides, he just doesn't have the guts. We can also observe the sheer height difference between the pelvises themselves, with the male pelvis being taller as well as being narrower. If we import this professionally made model of the male skeleton in walk cycle, we can observe the Q angles. So there you see, Gisele's angle of quadriceps is higher than the male's. Bones, right? Let's move on to more bones by observing Gisele's skull and her spine. Neither Mr. Ree or any other of the inverter cult compares skull sizes of, well, any of the people they're inverting, for obvious reasons. They just say male skull and move on to the next lie. Here's a couple examples of why they omit skull size comparisons. This is from the most popular of the inverter cult's smoking gun images, which the inverters use to psyop their mind-controlled viewers. Tell us, Mr. Ree, if Gisele is a man, wouldn't Gisele have a bigger skull than her sister, the little girl on the right? Why didn't you do any comparisons to support your claims? Oh, right. According to you, the male has a pinhead-sized skull and is irrelevant. Here's another skull comparison between 5'11" Gisele and 5'4" Rafaela. The skulls are identical in size. At least one of you truthers can explain this, yes? No? Didn't think so. And how is it that 5'11" Gisele has a smaller skull than little guy designer, Valentino? Or this other, shorter male. Observe the painfully clear evidence. Bones, right? Actual anatomy. These females of varying height each have the same size skulls. Gisele's lower shoulder-to-head ratio points to shorter collarbones and smaller shoulder blades. Why the difference? Evolution. Bipedal females simply didn't require massive upper body strength. Males, however, needed a wider, more robust skeletal frame to support up to 60% more muscle mass. a crucial adaptation for defending the tribe and dragging those sweet, juicy wild boar carcasses back to the camp. The female, observing the late actress Brittany Murphy, has specific curves in her spine. These curves feature a deeper lumbar lordotic curve. This lordotic curve aids in moving the female's center of gravity anteriorly when she's with child, so to offset the weight of the growing baby as it moves forward past the pelvis. Her spine also features kyphotic curve, seen in the thoracic spine. This curve aids in a counterbalance posteriorly to further aid bipedal stability when walking. In this motion clip, we observe Gisele has the same lumbar curvature. Also observe Gisele's S-curve, i.e. the lumbar lordotic curve, as well as the wide-angled backwards inclined thoracic spine. This feature absolutely indicates Gisele can carry a baby. So of course, Gisele is female. There is no denying this evidence. The inverter cult and its biased follower super spreaders of the disinformation are just liars with shady intentions. No mistaking that. Thanks for watching and tune into our Cola channel again soon.